Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. This is Digital Transformation and Infrastructure. Just a couple of housekeeping things before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, type them into the question box and not the chat box in your GoToWebinar panel. The question box is what works for this, so use that. Also, this is being recorded, and the recorded version will be available on our website and our YouTube channel within a couple days. You'll also receive an email to the link whenever it's available since you registered for the webinar. So I'll go ahead and jump in, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Microdesk before we get started on our first topic. So Microdesk was founded in 1994 as an Autodesk reseller with a simple mission, and that was to assist architecture, engineering, construction owners, and GIS firms with improving workflows and integrating project delivery technologies. Now we're 25 plus years later, and that mission still holds true. Microdesk is a well-established AECO consulting firm with 13 offices in the US and the UK. We have over 230 consultants, solution specialists, software developers, and we help in all sectors and all disciplines and all stages of projects. Some of the hottest topics in the AECO world are now globalization, urbanization, and sustainability. We call it GUS. Urbanization studies suggest that the US will build 114 cities the size of Boston in the next 30 years. So here at Microdesk, we can help to make sure you are prepared to meet these demands. We use software from industry leaders and combine it with our vision and passion for sustainability to meet the demands of urbanization. Our team of industry experts and consultants are redefining project delivery and asset management. We're committed to helping our clients realize the business benefits of BIM and digital transformation, such as this presentation, quickly and economically by facilitating the use of innovative technologies and processes. So whether it's streamlining your design, construction, or operations, our consulting team is the nation's largest and most experienced group of AECO technology consulting professionals. To help support the industry with these demands of urbanization, we provide full service consulting. So this includes building information modeling services, enterprise strategy and workflow assessments, technology management, mentoring and support, application development, and much, much more. Just a few of our partners, such as Autodesk and IBM. They're used to utilize innovative technologies and methodologies to empower sustainable design and overcome local challenges. Our vision is to reduce the environmental impact of urbanization by helping the AECO industry to design, construct, and operate better projects more efficiently by leveraging the full potential of BIM, VDC, and asset management. Okay, so just a little bit about me. I'm a strategic implementation manager here at Microdesk. My name is Jacqueline, you can call me Jackie Brown. I've been in the industry for about 17 years, and 8 of those years have been with Microdesk. I'm a registered professional engineer in New Jersey and Arizona. Before Microdesk, I worked in the land development industry in both public and private sectors for commercial and residential projects, including large master plan communities. And now I manage projects for clientele in a variety of industries. I assist clients in managing and organizing data, developing and establishing standardized content and procedures, BIM model development, and coordination. Okay, so finally, what we're here for. Talking a little bit about what digital transformation is to start with. We'll be focusing today on digital transformation in the infrastructure industry, and I'm going to start with exactly what that means. So there's basically 3 steps in the process. The first step is digitization, which is basically the conversion of analog to digital. So this can mean converting paper or manual processes to a digital format So for example, instead of receiving paper drawings, we could be receiving drawings digitally. The next is digitization. So that is the use of digital technologies to actually change a business model and to provide new revenue, cost savings, and value producing opportunities. So this means digitizing information and digitalizing processes and roles that make up the operations of a business. So it's not just using technology to upgrade information, it also involves upgrading workflows and operations of the business model, which will lead us to the last step of transformation. So in this case, transformation is a business transformation that comes about as a response to changes in end user behavior. So this means there are changes in customer demands due to rapidly advancing technology. There's a shift in how they access information, products, and services, meaning the organization needs to determine what their current processes, procedures, operating models, and organizational structures are, and if they are still relevant. From there, we can digitally transform the business and the way they do things and its strategy. Just a quick quote here. So digitization and digitalization are essentially about technology, but transformation is not. Transformation is about the organization and its process by which digital technology is integrated into all areas of a business. A process which fundamentally changes the way in which the organization operates. So diving in a little deeper and more specific into what goes into digital transformation, the digital transformation process, and the next few slides are basically divided into operational activities and project outcomes. So this slide demonstrates some of the thought that goes into planning considerations for a digital transformation. We're beginning here with the end in mind, and at the organizational level, we document goals and requirements and the information that's required to satisfy those goals. These activities allow us to identify the key elements to support outcomes like stakeholder alignment, establish clear roles, define goals, and measure a path to success. So the next step is to build upon those planning steps. So this is not an exhaustive list here, but it's a start for the step for where we begin to build the building blocks of what digital transformation will entail. So a few examples of those are schedule control, cost control, request for information, risk management, things like that. However, what we're getting at here is real-time tracking and reporting and coordination via cloud-based services, which I'll talk a little bit about later. And then the next step is, how is this all executed? So similar to what we are doing in the planning phase, we are building upon the work that was done for the operations phase. So when we talk about the end in mind, we look at preventative and corrective maintenance as well as the maintenance budget. This opens the door for advanced analytics such as AI and machine learning that get deep insights into how infrastructure facilities are operating and ultimately extend the useful life of our assets. Okay, so now getting into specifically for the infrastructure industry, what is happening out there today? So this slide here represents our pathway to digital maturity. I know there's a lot of words on this slide, but it's basically broken into different typologies. So you can see on the left there, these are the BIM maturity typologies. So the red is cultural change, the orange is technology and infrastructure change, the yellow is process change, and the whitish yellow is operating model and governance. So this is our pathway to digital maturity in the AECO industry and specifically for the infrastructure industry. So every organization is somewhere along this curve, and most companies and agencies in the infrastructure industry are at about the 2D, 3D phase. So really not too far along. Civil and infrastructure tends to be slightly behind the curve when it comes to digital maturity, But we're trying to change that. We're making our way up and we're attempting to get better at it. So like I said before, digital transformation and maturity is not just a process or a technology, it's also a cultural change. It's all of these things combined. So no single item is going to magically transform the way business is done. But if we work on developing all of these different typologies combined, it will allow us to move along this BIM maturity pathway. It can be taken one step at a time, and a good place to start and to focus on, especially in our industry, is getting to that 4D, 5D stage. And that can be done by developing a core or master operating model, for example, and incorporating BIM integrated design tools and connected project resources. Now, focusing a little bit on the highway and transportation industry here, here are a few examples of how agencies and associations are implementing digital delivery and digital transformation. So AASHTO, who most of us know in the industry, they're the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials. They have created the Joint Technical Committee on Electronic Engineering Standards. So this committee will identify the data needs, information requirements, and industry standards to assist the transportation industry to transition from traditional 2D plans to 3D information models. Now, the intent of developing 3D models in the industry are to use these models to capture data that can be utilized for planning, design, and decision-making throughout the life cycle of the asset. So this committee will lead the effort to identify the data needs necessary to facilitate the exchange of information between transportation agencies and their industry partners. So given that the industry has not and will not adopt a standard file format, a lot of different types of software are used in our industry. These agencies typically use more than one vendor for CAD software. The goal is to outline the needs for agencies and industry partners as opposed to establishing a standard file format. This committee will also assist in the identification of requirements and data needs for state DOTs and industry partners, and with the focus of allowing for a seamless transfer of data across the transportation industry. I have listed here that they have conducted several webinars on these topics. All of these have been recorded, and you can go to AASHTO's website to find these webinars if you're interested in learning more about their vision and what they have going on. Now, another agency, the Federal Highway Association, created EDC, or Everyday Counts. And basically, they're focusing on two initiatives here. One of them is digital as-built, and the other is e-ticketing. So with digital as-built, digital information is leveraged when the model is updated or modified to reflect the project's as-built condition for future maintenance, asset management, and rehabilitation activities. So the benefits of having digital as-built are, and you can apply this to not just the highway agency or industry, but you can apply it to most things in all of the civil and infrastructure industry. The benefits include safety. So construction using digital information can lead to safer projects and shorter work traffic zone impacts. There's also time savings. So digital information provided to construction enhances planning and can streamline project delivery. And also quality. So digital as-built can provide enhanced historical data and improved maintenance of the infrastructure for future projects. Now, something pretty specific to the infrastructure industry is e-ticketing. So an electronic means to produce, transmit, and share data to track and verify materials deliveries. It simplifies handling and integration of material data into construction management systems for acceptance, payment, and source documentation. So that's another initiative that they are focusing on as well. So there are quite a few Department of Transportation, or DOTs, and other state commissions as well, and agencies who have begun to adopt digital transformation, and they're all kind of listed here. They all have started with developing pilot projects for their initiatives. And probably the furthest DOT, the one that's furthest along, is Utah DOT. So to date, they have 14 MALD, which MALD means model as a legal document, awarded projects, and 9 of them are fully constructed. 7 were awarded with no cut sheets. So they are probably the furthest along, and I would recommend, if you're interested, researching their digital transformation and what they've done so far on their website, if you're interested. Also, the Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission, who is one of Microdesk clients, we are currently assisting them with the implementation of digital delivery. They have a goal of requiring digital submissions by 2023. And so we're assisting them in developing standards, procedures, workflows, and processes, and just helping them to get to that goal. So I'm going to go through a lot of benefits here. So just bear with me, because I think this is important to know that there are so many benefits when it comes to digital transformation. So these are some of the reasons why many states and agencies are taking on this directive. It's to have an effective and working digital twin, or a virtual representation of the project and its assets. The ability to dynamically manage those assets. Reduction in design errors before mistakes can become costly during construction. Increased project lifecycle efficiency. Reduction of RFIs and construction time. Improved sustainability. Increased safety, and reduced waste. Still continuing on with some benefits, and these are specifically the benefits of having a BIM, SIM, or PIM model. Now, I didn't really go into what those different acronyms are, but they kind of basically mean the same thing. So BIM is building information modeling, using building as a verb, not a noun, so the act of building something. SIM is kind of used in the civil industry as the civil information model, so you may hear that term sometimes. And then PIM is a project information model. So they all basically mean the same thing. It's basically having a 3D model and a model of your project. So getting a little bit more specific with statistical evaluations of the benefits, here are a few. So up to 40% of unbudgeted change orders can be eliminated, up to 80% reduction in time taking to generate cost estimates, cost estimation accuracy within 3%, a savings of 10% of the contract value through clash detections, and up to 7% reduction in project time. One of the ways the industry is looking to accelerate this shift is to tackle coordination issues via the cloud. So according to the Boston Consulting Group, implementation of a cloud technology solution can impact the project lifecycle cost by 15% and cut construction time by 30%. So this is specifically using a cloud technology. The argument for technology innovation in design and construction is clear, and really no project should be started without a technology strategy. Just a few more benefits here of cloud-based technology, and I just really want you to see the benefits. So there's a single source of truth, there's controlled work sharing across teams, faster, more efficient collaboration, reduced internal server and IT costs, reduced rework, performing design reviews with stakeholders, and streamlined connection to pre-construction workflows. So jumping into the project lifecycle, many of you are probably familiar, and this lifecycle may look a little bit different depending on what specific industry you're in, but this is just a graphic of the project lifecycle. So the purpose of digital transformation is not to change this lifecycle. There will still be a project planning stage, a design, construction to post-construction operation phases. But digital transformation will improve the workflows within each stage, looking at the data from the models and evaluating how we can leverage technology throughout the project lifecycle to streamline data as much as possible. One thing we want to avoid is creating manual labor for any replication or input of data. So what I mean by manual labor is really anywhere where you're manually copying information from one program and needing to duplicate it into another program, maybe through spreadsheets or something like that. For example, in our industry, pavement is usually an asset that we want to track and maintain. So we want to avoid the workflow of reading off of a plan sheet, then manually typing pavement depths into an Excel file, and then that gets entered into an asset management system. This type of workflow is not only time consuming, but it opens the doors for human error. We're still striving to get to a place where we can automate these workflows and changes that occur to maintain and track our assets in the infrastructure industry. But it's just something to think about. So to expand on this a little further, I have a video to kind of get everyone thinking about the possibilities of where digital transformation can be implemented. So this is briefly taking a look at the project lifecycle from planning, design, construction to all the post-construction operations and into future capital planning. So we can go through each project stage to see how digital transformation and technology can be applied. So for planning, we typically will begin with locating historical data and information. But if we take this a step further by implementing AI technology on a highway, for instance, to determine possibly why high volume is occurring at a certain time of day, or maybe more accidents are happening at a certain time of day, maybe this is affected by certain weather events, we can capture that data and combine it with algorithms for future estimates of population, number of drivers, and we can feed that information into a predictive model to help determine the best preliminary design. Now, the design phase is where we can spotlight the benefits of project information models or BIMSIM models, depending on what you prefer. The 3D intelligent model will reduce project errors and create stronger communication across project teams. We can isolate a section of roadway, for instance, and view any property from it and quickly analyze its profile. There are opportunities to gather and apply generative and parametric designs based on collected field data. And the biggest advantage is collaboration with technology, whether that be with AR, VR technology, or just integrating with the model itself. In the construction phase, we can use machine learning processes to determine the best construction sequence, schedule, and even staging areas, and have the models identify any potential issues before they happen. I'm talking faster than my video here, so bear with me. And then in project closeout, we can capture data in the field, whether it be by drone technology, Internet of Things, etc. We can efficiently collect the information of everything in the field, capturing the final constructed design, even capturing assets as they're installed, and log that information into an asset management system. So for operations and maintenance, we can help utilize image recognition to help automate field inspections, which could also include flying drones over projects to identify possible issues. We can also digitize field reports, making it easy to quickly view a previous report while out in the field if there's ever a need to compare logs. We can keep a field inspector's safety a priority by using VR technology within the digital models to train staff. We can leverage predictive models and can identify potential issues before they happen, whether it be a pattern or a system or an implication of a specific weather event. This can bring awareness before a potential issue occurs. And then we're on to asset management. All of this information from project closeout to the data collected post-construction through maintenance and operations, this needs to be captured for asset management. And ultimately, this will feed right into capital planning. So with this collected data and the use of predictive models, we can identify project prioritization and necessary funding. So this video doesn't cover everything and all that can be done. The sky is the limit for digital transformation opportunities. But this video's intention is to get you to start thinking about the different possibilities and how all of this could be applied for your business. So just a little bit about the summary and closing here. So if you remember from the beginning of the presentation, digital transformation includes digitization, digitalization, and transformation. And the steps to get there are as follows. Microdesk has assisted many companies and agencies, by the way, in this process. So the first is planning. So for this, we could do discovery sessions, gap analysis, and following that, we'll propose a phased journey. So this will be the build step where we'll develop and align a roadmap, budget for software, resourcing, etc., and long-term benefits that will save costs and time and enhance the quality of projects. And then finally, to execute the plan, it's time to implement. And maybe on a proof of concept project, develop and employ training, further help and monitor and support these efforts. And until they're fully integrated, we can help our clients out with that. So I hope this all was helpful for you in understanding a little bit more of the digital transformation in the infrastructure industry and kind of what that means for us. Sometimes it's a little bit vague, but it's a broad topic that it's good to bring to light and good for us to kind of dive deeper into and understand. So if you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and put them in the questions box in the panel. And I'll just give it a few seconds here. And if we do not end up with any questions, just remember that you will be getting a link to the recording if you'd like to watch this again and review anything, or if you'd like to share it with your colleagues or anything like that. And it will also be up on our YouTube channel and our website. This is also our contact information if you'd like to find out anything more about Microdesk. And I'm not seeing any questions come in, so thank you everyone for joining, and I hope you all have a good day.